Yes, sir!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers?
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
It is my pleasure to offer you the opportunity to be the head football coach at the University of Arkansas.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Woo Pig Suey.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
The college football season is officially over with a resounding win by the LSU Tigers. Is this the best team of all time? You might be able to make a pretty good case for LSU being the best college football team. It's tough to say of all time, but within the last 30, 40 years, it'd be difficult to find a team that played against the quality of opponent that they played against virtually week in, week out, with a couple of exceptions. A team that survived all of those great opponents, blowing some of them out, surviving in some close ones in other games, and eventually taking down the defending national champion in pretty convincing fashion. Nobody could have expected that LSU would be down by 10 points early in the second quarter and that the game would stay in Clemson's favor. There would be no way that that could happen the way LSU got going throughout the entire year. Even with that great Clemson defense, you knew there would be some right hooks, left hooks, and uppercuts, and that was all coming down in the form of a 21-point second quarter that gave LSU the edge and put it away late in the fourth quarter, going on to win 42-25 for their fourth national championship and the third of this century. So that's what we'll get to first today here on Halftime. Phil Elson here, Ty Richardson in the ESPN Arkansas studios. Get with us today, 877-377-6963 for calls or texts. One thing that stands out, Ty, is it's a long football game. I didn't even realize until the game looked out of reach, and I'm thinking, well, I didn't even look at the clock. It must be, like 10:15, 10:20. It was 11 o'clock by that point. And you want to stick around and watch the trophy ceremonies and OBJ handing out cash on the field and Joe Burrow smoking his cigar and all of that. And by the time you turn the TV off, it's like 11:30, and you're thinking, goodness, I thought it was baseball that had the problem with the length of game. National championship game, I don't think anybody's going to be bothered about it too much, though. Still playing these games on Mondays means for a lot of bleary eyes on Tuesday. The bleariest eyes, though, Ty, they're going to be Tiger fans, Tiger players, LSU fans, and those bloodshot eyes are going to last for a good week or so because they've got a championship celebration in Baton Rouge scheduled for Saturday.
I had two buddies who attended the game, our buddy Hogslop, who lives in Baton Rouge, as well as my buddy Colin, who moved from New Orleans due to Hurricane Katrina to Arkansas. So he's still a diehard LSU fan, and they both attended and then went out after. I'm just assuming, I don't know, I haven't talked to them. I think I made sure Colin was not dead this morning because
I was going to ask, you're assuming they're still alive, right?
Okay. He's alive because he hit me back this morning, but I'm assuming they took off both yesterday and today to enjoy all the festivities before. I know Tim McGraw was down there doing a pregame concert. Obviously, you had the game and then the festivities that ensued after, but that's probably the rowdiest that Bourbon Street has ever been, like in the history of Bourbon Street, because I know there's Mardi Gras, which they have that every year, and I know they've had some pretty big events down there, but you think about all those Tiger fans that made their way to New Orleans, and the fans that already lived there or within driving distance. That atmosphere was unbelievable last night. It was a good football game. Joe Burrow, we're going to get to him, just his spectacular performance this season that he blessed us with in not only the SEC, but the teams he beat across college football. just miraculous. And give Coach Ed Orgeron credit. He got it done when no one thought he would, Phil.
So, get to Burrow here then. So Joe Burrow finishes, let's see, they had 628 passing total yards. He passes for 463, 5 touchdowns against a fantastic defense. And he threw for over 300 yards every single game this year. Finished with the most yardage ever in a college football season, also with the 5 touchdowns that gave him 60 for the season, which is the most ever in one season. I kind of put these numbers in a different ray of light than you can for a lot of the other seasons in college football, because it's only recently that a team has to play 15 games to win a national title or have a chance to get to a national championship. So that's kind of like, like the Major League Baseball playoff records that have been set since the divisional round was added in the mid-'90s. You're playing so many more games that these records, I'm not going to say they don't mean anything, because these records will eventually stand the test of time. But having the most passing yards in a single season, having the most touchdowns in a single season, that's got to stand for something. Do you think Joe Burrow had the best season in the history of college football for any quarterback? And you consider, I remember the conversation about Burrow last year. He was a game manager. It's incredible to think that he was Trent Dilfer last year from that Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl championship.
2000.
Just don't lose us the game, okay, Joe? And then he turns into maybe the greatest quarterback in a single season in college football history. It's really shocking to see this turnaround.
Yeah, just a prolific offense that he engineered along with Joe Brady, the addition of their passing game coordinator who came over from the Saints. You look at his statistics this season, Phil, 76% completion percentage. At one point it was at 78. He
was like at 57% last year.
Yeah.
Breaks 76 this year.
Breaks Colt Brennan's Hawaii touchdown record, throws 60 in the season. 5,600 passing yards, and he had an incredible 202 rating. He had the largest percentage of first play votes in the Heisman Trophy. You mentioned the 15-0. I know that Trevor Lawrence did that last year, but he did not start all the way through that season. And you look at who he played and how he played in those particular games. In the postseason games he participated in this year, Phil, against Georgia, against Oklahoma, and against Clemson, 16 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. You have on here, read off the list of the top 10 teams that he was able to beat this season.
So Cole Kubelik put out a tweet earlier this morning that really does give a sense of the schedule that LSU played against. So 7 teams they beat were in the top 10 this year. And that does count Texas, and Texas finished nowhere near the top 25, but they were in the top 10 when LSU played them, so that's still
AP ranked in the final top 25, actually.
They did?
Yeah,
oh, cool.
because it's Texas.
I guess that means they're back-ish?
Yeah.
No, not really. So LSU also beat teams that, all right, Clemson, Fiesta Bowl champion, ACC champion. Georgia, SEC East champion, Sugar Bowl champion. Oklahoma won the Big 12. Florida, champion of the Orange Bowl. Clemson, well, I mentioned them. Citrus Bowl champion. Alabama, Texas Bowl champion. Texas A&M. I mean, they beat teams that went on to win their final game. Mm-hmm. And in some of the cases, they were, really big games. So the team that I always hear referred to, you always talk about the 2001 Miami Hurricanes, and that's more because of the collection of talent that they had on that team. What did they have, like 17 first-rounders, over 30 players on that team that eventually went to the NFL? But the 1995 Nebraska Cornhuskers, they outscored opponents 53 to 14.5 over the course of the season. That's utter dominance, and that included 4 teams in the top 10. Also, Florida, that was the second-ranked team in the country they beat in the Fiesta Bowl. That's the only other team I can point to. I know LSU had some tight games this year. Close shave against Auburn. Same thing against Alabama. That Nebraska team played no close games, not a single one of them. But it was a different game, a much different game then. And you got to put LSU on the same level as 95 Nebraska.
Mm-hmm. And you were asking as far as the single season performances go, when you look at the player comparison, a lot of people brought up Cam Newton. I think Barry Sanders is an excellent example in 1998 when he rushes for 37 touchdowns and over 2,600 rushing yards. Reggie Bush in 2005 was incredible, had over 2,000 all-purpose yards. Ndamukong Suh in 2009 Remember how dominant he was? 85 tackles, 12 sacks, 24 tackles for loss. You could say Charles Woodson in 1997. But the question that Bill likes to bring up, and we'll have Bill on tomorrow, Bill Keene of college football, is do we get caught up too much in the prisoner of the moment because what we've just seen? And so you kind of have to dissect, you kind of have to diagnose, you kind of have to catalog this season, not only from Joe Burrow, but the season overall, and then really dig into the nitty-gritty stuff when it comes to not only comparing Joe Burrow's performances this season, but the overall teams as well, Phil.
Well, one thing's for certain, they definitely belong in the pantheon of some of the greatest teams in college football history.
Correct.
We'll let the historians debate it over the next 10, 15 years. And, oh, by the way, Clemson is already the favorite to win next year's national champion, and LSU is also a 9-2 odds to get to another national championship. Halftime continues right after this break. Don't go anywhere.
No hidden agendas on this program. You're listening to Halftime. This is the Morning Rush.
That's what I always find it fascinating about not just media but fans. The guy sitting in section 212, upper deck corner, third row from the top. He is certain the guy that is 4 feet from the play on the floor has missed it when he's 3 rows from the top in the corner. You know, officiating is all about angles.
I mean, what better angle do you need than up there? You can see the whole thing, Tommy. You can see all of it from up there.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recording anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or stop by our location at the corner of Phoenix and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, or visit us online at shopwownow.com. Get the Hopper 3 today by calling WOW World of Wireless at 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474. Or online at shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Haul packages for a living? A gas-powered Mercedes-Benz Sprinter delivers. Transport people? A Sprinter van with 0% financing is a 5-star idea. If food delivery is your thing, then a gas-powered Sprinter caters to you. And if you're a general contractor, the Sprinter with 0% financing nails it. With innovation, safety, and technology, the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter is built for you. And it's built to protect your bottom line with 0% financing. The Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, starting at just $33,790. Gas engine, 0% financing, and starting at $33,790? Now that's a Sprinter that delivers. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
MSRP excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Only valid on 2018 or 2019 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans excluding cab chassis. Qualified commercial customers only. Financing offer valid through January 31st, 2020.
Is your home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a free weatherization program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, our crews will install measures that will save you money. The services provided through this program are absolutely free to qualifying homes. If you could benefit from free home weatherization improvements, call OG&E at 1-800-272-9741. That's 1-800-272-9741.
What does that mean?
It means they are the best of the best.
Okay.
It means that Jody'sAuto.com was voted by the people that deal with them,
their customers,
as best at first getting the car in one of their 3 shops quickly, finding out what was wrong with it, fixing it right the first time, and charging the customers a fair price for the repairs.
Getting it in, getting it out quickly at a fair price. Huh.
Real simple. Jody'sAuto.com. Best of the best.
Jody'sAuto.com. One stop for the best tire brands at the best prices, price match guarantee, and these folks know tires. 3 oil change specials. One stop for all services, all repairs, all maintenance, towing, and fleets. 3 locations, 2 in Fort Smith and 1 in Van Buren. When you have made up your mind to live by 3 words, do what's right, being voted by your customers best of the best is quite an honor. Convenience and trust. Since 1984, Jody'sAuto.com, best of the best.
This is ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Joe with 5 to shoot. Isaiah, NBA 3 on the way, and it's good. Joe's got 17. The lead is 10.
Well, I know we're all fired up to see Arkansas basketball in action Saturday against Kentucky, but hold the phones. You got to play tomorrow first against Vanderbilt, team that hasn't won an SEC game in almost 2 full years. This is something we'll get into later on, but it's been 22 consecutive SEC losses for Vanderbilt basketball. Don't let that streak end tomorrow because you're worried more about Kentucky and the sellout on Saturday. Yeah, that's something to get into later on. 877-377-6963 for our calls and our texts.
Bill, did you see that Chad Morris happened to tweet out for the first time in a while last night during the game?
I did not. I think I might have unfollowed Chadwick, so I don't think I saw this. We did get a text here on the text line. The guy from the 479 says, I saw Clown Show Chad is back on Twitter. Glad to see all the warm welcome backs from our fine and outstanding Razorback fans, and drops a woo pig suey. I can imagine that the mentions were not very pretty.
Yeah, they're pretty rough. If you want, I'm not going to read them on air because they're pretty explicit.
Well, what did he tweet about? What was his purpose? It certainly wasn't a thank you to the University of Arkansas, because we still haven't seen anything like that. Joe Moorhead had nice things to say the day after he got let go by Mississippi State, but Chad's got nothing to say about Arkansas.
So, a guy by the name of Coach Randy Ross, who was Arkansas's football operations director, won the Director of the Year according to Football Scoop. And he just said, much deserved, very proud to have worked with Coach Randy Ross, enjoyed the next chapter. And the mentions are the majority of Arkansas fans just roasting him.
Just venting.
Yeah, just venting. But I mean, John and I were talking about last night at dinner. The fact that he still hasn't said anything is puzzling. But it's never going to happen now.
No, it's too late.
Yeah,
it's too late. Does I forget? Is it Arkansas at Auburn next year, or
correct.
the other way around?
Yeah,
it has. Oh, that's too bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's too bad, because he would be great to see. You know, I'm sure that the Arkansas media will have at least a moment or so where they'll try to get with him, but I doubt that'll actually happen.
Yeah,
and I have to wait a couple of years.
Yeah, it's a bummer because he might not even be there in 2 years. Like, the welcoming party for Chad Morris would be quite interesting, but there's a good chance that he is not the Auburn offensive coordinator in 2 years, and that return visit would not likely be in an Auburn uniform, Phil. It would be probably in something else.
What about UAB? You think UAB might be coming to play against the Hogs in Fayetteville anytime soon? I don't see them on any of the future schedules, because that's where Joe Craddock is taking his talents. So, I mean, you remember last year we looked at where Ty Story and Cole Kelly ended up transferring to, and they transferred to FCS teams. Actually, Southeast Louisiana is FCS. Western Kentucky's not, but both did not win their
lesser school.
Yeah, a lesser school, not Power 5. The
yeah.
best way to put it. Neither won their quarterback competition to start the season. Story did later, but it just kind of let you know is that, look, this was what you had at quarterbacks in the SEC in Chad Morris's first year. Not a good look, and with Joe Craddock now becoming a tight ends coach at UAB, not an offensive coordinator, a position coach, that might say a little bit about not being ready for the party when he was at Arkansas to begin with, and it seemed like that. You could tell that first year.
Yeah, in 2003, when he was going to Briarwood Christian there in Birmingham, he won a state championship, so it's kind of a welcoming home party of sorts. But, Phil, I agree with you 100%. When you see guys, not only their coaches, but our players as well, take lesser jobs or go to a lesser school, that should just raise your eyebrows a little bit. It's like, so do they have any business being in the SEC? Do they belong in this conference? At least question the the reasoning behind them being there, at least. You don't necessarily have to be 100%. They had no business being there, but at least you can question it based on where not only the players that you mentioned, but the coaches have landed at this point.
Well, those are pieces that fit the jigsaw puzzle because Arkansas didn't look like they belonged in the SEC either over these last 2 years. So I mentioned that LSU is the third overall favorite to win next year's national championship. Vegas odds have Clemson at 2-1, Bama 4-1, and LSU at 9-2. But nobody's sure who's going to play quarterback at LSU. You know Trevor Lawrence will be the QB at Clemson. Mac Jones apparently is a favorite to win the Heisman next year for Alabama. We don't know who the quarterback of LSU is going to be. Is it going to be Miles Brennan? Chances are they might be looking to the transfer market. And there was a pretty well-known transfer that came out yesterday. And this was such an interesting story of the Houston quarterback, De'Aaron King, because Dana Holgorsen leaves West Virginia. They make a big splash with him at Houston. 4 games into the season, they're 1-3. King and I know it was a couple of other seniors and Holgorsen made the decision that they would redshirt for the rest of the year and then come back next season on a stronger club that's ready to contend for an American Conference championship. Well, Houston ended up finishing 4-8. King was asked over and over again throughout the season if he would go in the transfer portal. He never went into it until yesterday, made it official. And apparently Arkansas may be one spot he's looking to land. I also think LSU might be looking at him.
Yeah, this is odds from sportsline.com. LSU's plus 250, Arkansas's plus 300, Miami's plus 500, Oregon's plus 600, or Florida State plus 800, Michigan State's plus 1,500, and Oklahoma's plus 2,000. It seems like that the Sooners are pretty happy with Spencer Rattler, and more in particular, Lincoln Riley likes where he's headed, so he's probably going to be the quarterback there next year. The intriguing possibility is LSU with Joe Burrow exiting. Do they trust Brennan? Do they have another guy on that roster that they think could be the QB? We're getting a chance to talk with Sam Comm Jr., who writes for ESPN.com. He's under the impression, he has sources indicating that Arkansas is a very prominent possible destination for De'Aaron King. For those who don't remember, he played under Kendall Briles when Briles was the OC at Houston, had a record-setting year through and ran for 50 touchdowns. Their statistics were like top 5 in most major categories across college football, and they seem to have a good relationship. So that's going to be an interesting storyline moving forward, Phil, if that connection's still drawn and if he can convince Keene to come to Fayetteville.
So that's something we'll talk with Con later on in hour number 2. Nikki Chavanel coming up in about 8 minutes. And Arkansas also looking to Malik Hornsby, who had been was he a commit to Baylor and then decommitted after Rule left, or was that just they were looking at him hard and recruiting him, because they still are? He still says Baylor's recruiting him as hard as anybody else.
I don't remember.
But he's still making visits to Arkansas and looking at Maryland, Purdue, and Georgia, along with Baylor and the Razorbacks.
I think he was committed somewhere else, like A&M or Florida State, and then Baylor got in the mix because Rule's pretty good at recruiting. Then obviously he's left, so things have changed. But that's a guy that, as far as high school quarterbacks go, that you want to keep an eye on. And the information that Phil just talked about, that's from Trey Biddy and those guys and the guys at Hog Sports that they're kind of garnered. And God, I hadn't said that in a minute. They picked up on that. It seems like that Arkansas is a potential destination for him. But I'm just curious. And by the way, Phil, you'll like this because you like Trask. Trask played at the same school, Manville, as Keene did. He was Keene's backup.
I was going to say, I remember Trask never started in high school, so
there's a reason why he was behind Keene. But he's back to Hornsby. That's a kid you want to keep an eye on as far as if you follow Arkansas recruiting. You want to pay attention to most of his moves because it seems like that Arkansas is in the mix for services next year.
Well, he's a dual threat quarterback, knows Kendall Briles well. This sounds like it could be a good marriage. Plus, you're going to come in and know that you got a chance to play immediately. Is there competition for a graduate transfer to come in and just assume the role? Or does K.J. Jefferson get a real hard look and you know that there's a legitimate competition between a redshirt freshman and a graduate transfer? I would imagine if King or any other graduate transfer comes here, They're coming here to play, not just to compete for the starting job.
And John made to mention this before we came on air, that he knows, and Nikki confirmed this as well, that Felipe Franks is actually in town for an official visit this weekend. So that could be another guy that Arkansas fans may want to keep an eye on in terms of the quarterback position. He would be a graduate transfer eligible immediately to play, depending on the severity of his injury. We just mentioned De'Aaron Keene. There's some other guys. Jamie Newman, for those who don't know, has committed to Georgia. He will be going there. So that's a guy that you kind of cross off your list in terms of graduate transfers that the Razorbacks may be going after. But we've laid it out. Get a grad transfer, get a high school quarterback. Don't do the 2 grads for transfers out. Maybe that's just a bad taste in our mouth, but it just doesn't seem like that's the play moving forward for any college football team.
Carl in Lavaca texted in, says he thinks King will go to LSU. He wants him at Arkansas, but just a relationship with an offensive coordinator is not going to be enough. And he also reminds us Malik Hornsby was committed to North Carolina and then decommitted. Must have not wanted to compete against Jacoby Criswell, right? 877-377-6963, our hotline for calls and texts today. Nikki Chavanel coming up in about a minute. I'm excited that we've got what's our second guest name? Sam Kahn?
Sam Kahn Jr.
Sam Kahn Jr. Excited we have him on because, and I don't know if if he'd be ready to talk about it, but he is a Houston sports reporter. I was listening to Houston Sports Radio after we were done yesterday, Ty. They were calling yesterday on the ESPN affiliate the single worst day in the history of Houston sports. A day after the choke job that the Texans did in the NFL playoffs and the day that the heads were lopped off of the front office and the dugout for the Houston Astros. But I've got some thoughts also about where Jim Crane falls into this. If you think this baseball sign-stealing scandal is over, let me tell you what, it has just started. So that's something to talk about later on. But we're talking Razorback football and recruiting with Nikki Chavanel after this.
A show that lives up to the hype. You're listening to Halftime.
You have work to do. You need a tractor that helps get it done. TYM has the full range of tractors designed to meet the task. With the TYM easy-to-use controls and features, switching from one job to another is easy. And with the full range of models from 19 horsepower to 105 horsepower turbo, there is a TYM tractor that's right for the job and for you. But you can't buy a TYM tractor just anywhere. It's only sold at authorized TYM dealers like Bush Tractor, 7301 South Zero, Fort Smith.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
This is Mark Hurst. How important is your smile? I recently read a study that said 61% of adults are attracted to someone by their smile alone. Another said that 48% of adults have untagged themselves from a photo on Facebook because of their smile. At Hurst Family Dental Care, we want you to be proud of your smile. Give us a call at 474-1972 and let us talk to you about improving your smile with cosmetic dentistry options ranging from in-office bleaching to braces to porcelain crowns and veneers. Hurst Family Dental Care, a name you know and a name you can trust.
Tired of all the broken promises and broken equipment at your current gym? The Fort Smith Athletic Club is the nicest and most well-equipped fitness and tennis club in the area with a state-of-the-art fitness center, Pilates, fitness classes, personal and group training, and the best tennis facilities in the region. 7 outdoor courts, 5 indoor courts, plus pickleball and racquetball courts. And free child care is included. The Fort Smith Athletic Club. Call 452-4031 for membership information.
Well, another decade is come and gone, and the year 2020 is here to stay a bit. Why not start another year with a brand new IP phone system from Pinnacle Telecom? And better yet, how about if it cost you nothing on the front end? That's right. To celebrate a new decade, Pinnacle Telecom will waive the installation costs for all cloud-based hosted IP phone systems. Pair this system with Pinnacle's fast fiber internet, and your business is ready for the future. Check us out at pinnacletelecom.com or give us a call today, 479-242-0000.
The 2019s must go. Save up to $15,000 now at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. 2019 Ford Expedition with the all-new body style. Now $15,000 off. 2019 Ford Escapes, only $24,230. And 2019 Ford F-150 4x4s, over $10,000 off. The 2019s must go. Up to $15,000 off at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Stewart's open. Stewart. One on the shot clock. Thurman beat it. Oh! He got it! Three-pointer!
Nikki Chabanel joining us right now from Rivals, covering all things Arkansas athletics. Nikki, I don't know how late you usually stay up, but you had to be up pretty late to watch the entirety of last night's college football game. I've got the bloodshot eyes. What about you?
I did stay in bed for like an hour longer than I normally do, but I thought it was pretty worth it. I mean, it was the last college football game of the season. I had to stay and watch all of it.
You sound like somebody just stole your dog. You sound really sad. And I get, that reflects what a lot of our listeners are thinking right now. You got to wait. The countdown is already starting until kickoff next year, but I can hear it in your voice. But hey, this is what you love. This is what you do. So I can appreciate your sentiments.
So everyone automatically, starts looking towards next season, and it's been about a month since Sam Pittman's been announced, right? And people are already talking, bowl games and stuff, and if you get your hopes so high, you're going to be disappointed, and fans' disappointment leads to me being upset 24/7. So hopefully people just try to appreciate, what Sam Pittman can bring to the table and just don't put too many expectations on him just yet.
So the word right now is on possible quarterbacks for Arkansas, and there's room in that quarterback room, maybe for two of them. I think definitely two of them. So we're thinking that they might have a shot at Malik Hornsby, although he's being recruited hard by some other big-name schools. And then De'Aaron King in the transfer market, and you pointed out on your Twitter feed today that Felipe Franks is coming in for a visit. So you think the Hogs will get a couple of quarterbacks? You think one high school, one transfer?
So I think Arkansas has a great shot with Malik Hornsby, but it's, Baylor's still kind of in the mix, although they don't know who the next head coach is going to be. So that is obviously a big factor for him. And then he's got some other schools recruiting him as well. So there's no guarantee there, but I do like his long-term relationship with Kendall Briles so far. He recruited him at multiple stops. But with Felipe Franks, that's been something in the works for a while. And I kind of think that if they felt really, really good about Derek King, that Franks wouldn't be visiting on the last possible day and potentially enrolling right away. Like, if he visits Friday, he's basically got to decide, like, okay, I'm going to stay here and enroll in classes, and this is where I'm going to be. So this is a very quick decision for him, and I don't think Arkansas would have brought him in if they felt great about Derek King. And given Kendall Briles' relationship with him previously, I'm just assuming that he knows kind of what King is thinking already. He's probably talked to family members, former coaches, whatever, and kind of knows the situation way better than any of us possibly could. But a lot of people are kind of upset. They have their hopes set really high on Derek King, and so Franks just doesn't look like as good of a prospect as King does, and I understand that looking at their numbers. But Franks led Florida to a 10-3 season. Obviously, he has a lot of help, a lot more help than he'd have here at Arkansas, but he's a pretty decent quarterback, and I don't think people can turn their nose up at that.
So, Nikki, you're talking about Felipe Franks, and I know you and John both confirmed that he's going to be in an official visit in Fayetteville this weekend. We've talked about how important this is as a basketball program for Arkansas this weekend, this game particularly against Kentucky. As far as football recruiting goes, is this the most important weekend to date that you think the football team has had?
Since Sam Pittman got here, I would say so. I mean, they've got 3 former kids back on the Hill. I think they need to get at least 2 of those guys back. Kelvonte Dixon, the wide receiver that used to be committed from East Texas, I just don't see him coming back to Arkansas at this point because his last visit is to Texas where his brother plays. But then Alan Horace, tight end, former commit, he's got to get back in this class. They need him. They only have 2 scholarship tight ends, and then Savion Williams. Arkansas does have Darren Turner committed, but I think they need at least 1 more. And Savion Williams from East Texas, he's raw, but he's got a lot of the skills that you like to see in those big-body wide receivers. So if they can get both those guys back on board, that's fantastic. Broderick Jones, 5-star offensive lineman, Georgia commit. He's huge. Obviously, Arkansas hasn't had a 5-star official visitor in quite a long time. But most people who know Jones and know his situation think that he's pretty much a lock to stay at Georgia, unfortunately. But they do have another 4-star offensive lineman, Jalen St. John. He used to be committed to Brad Davis at Missouri. He's visiting this weekend. So a lot of talent. Another 4-star, Rashad Battle. He is a Georgia corner, a 4-star. And Georgia's been talking to him on the down low, but still haven't offered him. So maybe Arkansas could get him to pull the trigger this weekend before Georgia turns up the heat if their numbers work out like that.
So, Nikki, you mentioned Broderick Jones, the 5-star offensive tackle that will be visiting this weekend. Should fans be happy enough that he's even considering Arkansas for an official visit? Can you tell that to fans, the fact that he's even considering being a Razorback?
So I don't know how much he's considering being a Razorback, but I do know that he clearly has a very, very strong relationship with Sam Pittman, and not that Arkansas fans really need a reminder, but he's an incredible recruiter, and just getting him to come visit and spend his weekend here when I'm sure other schools would have loved to have 48 hours with him is a sign that he's going to continue that kind of elite recruiting here.
What is he about a grad transfer kicker potentially looking at Arkansas too? We kind of forget, you got to replace Connor Limpert, who was a bright spot over these last couple of years.
Yeah, AJ Reed, he is a kicker from Duke who just got his chance to really contribute in this last year. He's been followed by Scott Fountain and followed back and everything. So they're in communication. Not sure if he'll visit, but he'd be a guy that would take up a scholarship. So you have to kind of decide, do you have someone on the roster that you don't have to waste a scholarship on, or do you have to use a scholarship for special teams, which a lot of teams around the nation do, and Connor Limpert was on scholarship. It's just something you have to decide if you have it in the numbers for a guy like that.
Switch over to basketball for a minute here. We got a lot of excitement surrounding this Arkansas basketball team for very good reasons. Some of it is the return of the sellouts to Bud Walton Arena. You got plans to be there Saturday, Nikki? Because I'd be there if I could. I know Ty's been talking about this game for the last 2 months since it was scheduled. This is supposed to be a banner day in Razorback basketball history, and I'll tell you what, they better win.
Oh yeah,
because that's what people are expecting.
Which is, once again, Arkansas fans just kind of expect things without really thinking about what it means. But Kentucky is the number 10 ranked team in the nation. It's going to be a very, very tough game. But I will, of course, be there. Ticket prices are very high, so I'm not going to waste my free credential and not go to the game. Definitely going to be there. And Arkansas will have some recruits on campus as well, although they won't have 5-star Harrison Ingram, who was supposedly supposed to official visit. And then weather last weekend switched things up with a game that he was supposed to have, and now it's scheduled for this Saturday. So he can't be here. But he's got very close ties to the Musselman family, so I expect he'll reschedule that.
So, Nikki, speaking of basketball recruits, remind us, and I know these are subject to change based on different scheduling and kids not showing up, but remind us who's told you that they're planning on being there this weekend for Kentucky.
Right. So Arkansas will have 2 commits / one signee. Devo Davis, the Jacksonville senior shooting guard. Jalen Williams, the center from Fort Smith Northside. He'll be here. He's just committed, not signed yet, but he's all hog, Jackson Robinson, who was here just a couple weeks ago. He's a 4-star 2021 prospect from out of Oklahoma, and he's had a long relationship with Chris Crutchfield, who was recruiting him at Oklahoma. They'll also have rising 2021 3-star Taron Williams. And Williams doesn't have an offer yet, but he's on the radar for sure. And then Javion Guy King, he's just a 2022, but with an early Arkansas offer. So good that they're getting these guys in early. And then they'll also have Duncan Powell, who has been committed for a few months now. He's in the 2021 class, and he's the number 100 ranked player in the nation for that class.
Houston sports fan, right, Nikki?
Yes, but if you're trying to talk Astros, I won't have it because, well, first of all, I can't lie and say I pay enough attention to really wallow with everybody else. But wow!
But it comes right after the Texans. Comes right after the Texans loss and the way they lost that game too. I mean, I've heard it described as maybe the worst 2 days in the history of Houston sports.
So I didn't really expect the Texans to win, but then when you get up 24-11, your expectations, go through the roof, and then it just all blew up. And now apparently the Astros are in some kind of crazy more. I don't know how they're going to deal with getting a new GM and a new coach and whatever. So crazy stuff.
Yeah, lots going on. We'll be talking with somebody from Houston about that later on, Sam Conn Jr. Nikki, always appreciate your time. Have a great week. Enjoy Saturday's game, and we'll talk to you in a week.
Thank you. Bye.
You got it. Nikki Chavanel. Give her a follow on Twitter at Nikki Chavanel. And it's worth the price of admission to get a subscription to Hogbeat. So we certainly think you should do that too. We do think you should stick around after the break and give us a call or a text, 877-377-6963. Halftime is right back after this.
No hidden agendas on this program. You're listening to Halftime.
Are you looking for a new place to call home? Whether you're looking for an apartment, duplex, townhome, or a house, Trinity Multifamily has you covered. They even have options in surrounding states, from Texas to Michigan and Kansas to Tennessee. If you're looking for a new place to call home, make Trinity Multifamily your first call at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
Hi, Saver. Looking for ways to save on your Medicare Part D copays? We love that at Walgreens. We're a preferred network pharmacy with many plans nationwide, which could mean lower copays for you. Bring your prescriptions to a Walgreens pharmacy and start saving today. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. Walgreens participates as a preferred network pharmacy with United Healthcare, Cigna, and Express Scripts Medicare. Walgreens participates with other plans. See walgreens.com/Medicare for details.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half-price. And all beers on tap are half-price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
Your voice lets him know he's safe. Shelter Insurance does the same for you. Roadside assistance provided by Road America is now included with your auto policy. We'll take care of you. Thank you. While you take care of what's most important. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call me, Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith.
Or call me, Jim Malum in Charleston.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. 5202 or learn more at Gastons.com. Gastons, a first-class time, every time.
What's your family's security worth to you? Have you put off adding a security system to your home for another year? Or are you just waiting for someone to break in to be that final straw? Use your income tax return to add a security system to your home for as little as $495 and $15.95 a month. Guardtronic has a package to help secure your home. Call today for a free estimate, 479-785-2323, or visit the website, guardtronic.com. License EO50.
Kevin Hickey Law has a great team of people who are dedicated to your legal cares. Kevin Hickey's law team is made up of experienced, caring individuals centered around divorce, child and custody, DHS matters, and more, serving the Fort Smith area and Northwest Arkansas. Make the right decision. Call Kevin Hickey Law at 479-434-2414, and for Northwest Arkansas, 479-802-6560, or the web at kevinhickeylaw.com, where our clients are our main priority from start to finish.
It's a new year, a time for fresh starts and positive changes. Let us help your vehicle reflect your good vibes by making it look its best. If you find yourself a victim of the winter weather, we will work with your insurance company and help you throughout the process. We offer a lifetime warranty and a complete interior detail with all repairs. We can quickly restore cloudy headlights, making them look like new and brightening your road for better vision on these dark winter nights. Think of us at Evans Body Shop when you need any auto body repairs.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Jones gets a screen right side. Mason keeps the dribble with the left hand. He'll launch a three, and he got it to go! Mason Jones with a contested three. He knocked it down. Hogs are up by 3.
The SEC back in action tonight. 3 basketball games on the schedule. All of them available for your viewing pleasure. ESPN2 carrying Ole Miss at Florida. That's a 6 p.m. tip. Ole Miss looking for their first conference win. Florida's 2-1. LSU visiting Texas A&M on the SEC Network. That's also at 6 o'clock. LSU 3-0. Texas A&M coming off a win against Vanderbilt is 2-1 in the league. And Missouri visits Mississippi State. It's a 1-2 Tigers and an 0-3 Bulldogs team playing at 8 on the SEC Network. Of course, Arkansas in action tomorrow. 7:30 tip. We'll carry it live right here in the IMG Learfield pregame show beginning at 7. It is televised on the SEC Network, Vanderbilt and Arkansas. And one of the, criticisms isn't the right word about this Arkansas basketball team is a lack of depth. And for me, the thing has been a lack of size and a lack of depth of the size that you're talking about. Mm-hmm. It hasn't really been that big of a problem yet for this basketball team. And my thing for them is that you feel good about having one good guard coming off the bench in Jalen Harris, and you're still waiting for some sort of consistent measure of a forward coming off the bench, whether it's been Reggie Chaney or Gene Tilsilla or Ethan Henderson. You haven't had that consistent 5 coming off the bench yet for Eric Musselman. But Eric Musselman doesn't really seem to mind it all that much. He spoke yesterday to the media on the idea of depth in college basketball being an overrated idea.
I felt like we had 13 players that were eligible to play every night, and I kept saying to myself, why? Because after every game, even when we won, there's like 4 guys unhappy because they weren't playing. It was great to sit back as an assistant and observe, and I'm used to a 48-minute game, 82 games, travel, getting into the hotel at 2:30 in the morning, waking up, playing a game, playing another game, playing another game, playing 4 games in 6 nights. You need depth in the NBA. You play 82 games. In college, you play 30 games. We don't have any 35-year-old players that have played 12 or 13 years in the NBA that are icing their knees night after night after night. And so I thought depth was way overrated in college. And I didn't like walking into a locker room and having guys not be happy with their minutes. So I came up with the formula. I wanted 4 guys sitting out, or I wanted 4 scholarships where guys were either redshirting, sitting out due to transfers, or open scholarships. And that way, I felt like you could control your team chemistry in the locker room.
That's a very interesting take. And the reason I say that is because if you look at next year, Phil, you got 4 freshmen coming in. And you lose Adriel Bailey. Right? And Jimmy Witt.
You lose Jimmy Witt and Scylla and Jamario Bell.
Yeah.
And maybe Isaiah Joe if he goes to the NBA draft maybe a year earlier than I think most people expect.
So
that's true, too, and that's been something we've talked about. I wonder what it means for this team, though, right now, because what at the top of the list defines this team? Heart, chemistry. These are things that we got into yesterday. They're difficult to quantify what heart and chemistry means, other than the fact that you're 13 wins in your first 15 games, and conceivably you could be 15-0 in a couple of situations go your way. Hey, at the same time, you could probably be, like 10-5 if things didn't go your way. But it is interesting that Musselman puts it that way, because then you don't have anybody who's upset with their lack of minutes. But I wonder, how Reggie Chaney feels about that at this moment. With him swiping at the ball and getting that technical against LSU, you can't complain that you only get 4 minutes of runtime. The next game against LSU, you're probably lucky you even got on the court at all. But is there anybody that's on this team right now that's clamoring for more minutes or playing with a bad attitude because they're not getting enough minutes? It's essentially a 6.5 player team. Nobody's upset with their roles. Nobody's upset with the amount of runtime. And I think Coach Musselman makes a really good point about, if you got a group of guys where 4 or 5 of them are routinely ticked off that they're not getting the playing time that they either were promised or that they feel they deserve or that they're better than this guy on the team or that guy on the team, that will play itself out. That's where you get locker room problems. You don't have anything going on like that right now at all. The buy-in for what these guys are doing and playing out of positions they've played previously in their career, it's obvious that they've bought in, not just to Coach Musselman, but to every player on the team, and they've bought into the idea that they're going to be out there a ton. And the guys that aren't playing, quite honestly, you wonder if they got more run, this team would be worse. It's a different thing next year. You're absolutely right, because you're going to have a filled roster, full scholarships, the transfer. You got 3 transfers that'll be eligible, 4 incoming freshmen, all expecting playing time. It's going to be difficult to keep this philosophy of a short bench next year.
Yeah, and you mentioned the players again. You have Witt, you have Bailey, you have Scylla, and who's the other one? The senior.
And then there's Jamario Bell.
Jamario Bell. So those guys are gone. And you think about the freshmen coming in, then you also have to factor, what do Mason Jones and Isaiah Joe think, especially the way they've been playing this season? And are they off to the NBA? Are they off to a professional level of some sort? And that's also got to be thought about. Then you think about the possibility or potential of someone transferring out just because they feel like it's not a good fit after year 1. So there's a lot of, and again, there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of scenarios that we can just kind of project at this point, but we're not going to know about until next season. But people have been questioning. A lot of Arkansas fans are wondering if the depth is going to hurt this team down the stretch, if it's going to take a toll. So far, it hasn't. We've seen this team close out games down the stretch, surprisingly, even with this small rotation. I thought it was interesting. I cut the rest of this clip off, but one of the things he also mentioned in the presser is talking about how he was essentially handcuffed to these particular players, and that way there's not this added pressure on them. Like, because of this smaller rotation, because of the smaller depth, you're going to get more minutes. You're going to be able to make more mistakes than if you had, a 9, 10, 11-man rotation where...
Right. You're not looking over your shoulder if you make, if you turn the ball over. You're not coming out.
Yeah, there's pros and cons, obviously, with fitness and that aspect and a bunch of other things, but I kind of like how that point he brought up where you're not consistently looking over to the assistant coaches and must, as in, like, I'm about to get pulled because I turned the ball over, or I missed a box out or something like that. He'll yell at you. We've seen that. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be yanked immediately and not going to get the minutes that you think you deserve.
The only area where I feel like, and look, these are young men. What's the oldest player on the team? 22 years old. It's like Muss said, nobody's 36, 16 years in the league icing their knees. There's no load management that you got to worry about for for a youthful college basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
But where it does turn into an issue is when you play 3 games in 3 days, or if you go to the 4 games 4 days in an SEC tournament. And I think it definitely comes down to the wash of playing in the NCAA tournament. Where you're playing 2 games over the course of 3 days against very high-level competition. The pressure's on. Your routine leading into the game is totally different in a tournament than it is in a regular season game. It doesn't hurt Arkansas right now. Coach Musselman says you got these opponents that always think they're going to wear Arkansas down. And game in, game out, who's the fresher team in the final 2-3 minutes? It's been Arkansas every single game with the exception of maybe Western Kentucky. That's it. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to be a tired team in January, in February. It can't hurt them in March. And regular season and postseason in college basketball are so much different that the philosophy of the regular season with bench minutes, I don't know if it plays itself out of the postseason.
And Phil, to your point, just because he's going about this way in the regular season doesn't mean he can't slightly adjust things when they get to postseason play. Because if they get into the SEC tournament and they either start on Wednesday, that'd be at the bottom 4. They're not starting on Wednesday. This team's not going to be in the bottom 4 of the SEC. But let's say they start on Thursday, have to play 4 games in 4 days, or they start on Friday, 3 games in 3 days. Maybe Ethan Henderson, maybe Gentel Sell, maybe these guys get more minutes than they would have in the regular season because of the closeness and proximity of the games being so close back to back. And the same could be said if this team makes it to a postseason, whether it's the NIT, whether it's the NCAA tournament. Right now, they look like an NCAA tournament team. You could say the same thing about that postseason as well, Phil.
Well, one thing's for certain. You better not overlook Vanderbilt tomorrow night. You better not. I know everybody's all fired up about Kentucky. You got a really tough road game next week at Mississippi State. Then you get the Big 12 challenge with TCU. Do not sleep on Vanderbilt. Even though the Commodores are down their 2 best players, you cannot fall asleep against a team in the SEC. I don't care how many points Arkansas wins by tomorrow, because they do play a lot of tight games. They just better get a win. We'll preview Arkansas-Vanderbilt. Your calls and texts at 877-377-6963. Halftime is back for the second hour right after this.
Full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine and Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
Barley is the soul of Budweiser. That's why we've been working with the same family-owned American farms for more than 50 years to harvest it. The secrets to growing this grain perfectly have been passed down through 3 generations. For them, it's a legacy. And it's why only the best barley and locally sourced ingredients are used to make Budweiser. Budweiser is proudly raised across America. This Bud's from our barley farmers. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Attention Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative members. Do you need a better internet provider? One who treats you like a member and not a number? Then check out our new fiber internet services from Wave Rural Connect. We are bringing state-of-the-art, high-speed fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. If you are an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
When's the last time you did date night at Doe's? Doe's Steakhouse always has the charm and great atmosphere. Plus, the area's largest selection of in-stock wines. And all of the award-winning steaks at Doe's are perfect for sharing. And there's no charge for an extra side or salad when you share. Doe's is proud to be the premier steakhouse in Fort Smith at 422 North 3rd. Open 5 till 9 Monday through Thursday and 5 till 10 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. So make it a date night at Doe's for a great experience every time.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
An increase in the cloud cover tonight. An overnight low will drop down to the low to mid 40s. I think we're looking at more clouds than sunshine. 60 to 65 Tuesday. And then Wednesday we can introduce a few showers or even a few rumbles of thunder. High temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
I hate everything you just said. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
They're hilarious.
Hey, Coach Pittman, you got something to say?
Yeah, I do.
Go Hogs!
Yes,
sir!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
It is my pleasure to offer you the opportunity to be the head football coach at the University of Arkansas.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Woo Pig Suey.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
I can't help but rewatch this video from the field last night after the LSU Tigers won their 4th national championship. This video of Odell Beckham Jr. slapping a wad of cash into Justin Jefferson's hand. Did you see, Ty, where one of the LSU administrators tried to posit that was fake money? That was monopoly money that OBJ was tossing around. I'm sure that those were fake Benjamin Franklins on those greenbacks. No, those were the real thing. That was the absolute real thing, and it was quite a scene. Is that any different than Penny Hardaway giving James Wiseman however much money he got to move from wherever he lived in Tennessee to Memphis? Is there any difference whatsoever to this? It's a former player, an alumni of that school, giving money to either an incoming player in the case of Wiseman or a current player in the case of Jefferson. I'm sure the NCAA will find a way to just look past this. But what a video. What a video. As if the season didn't go poorly enough for OBJ and his Cleveland Browns. And his beloved LSU Bayou Bengals win themselves a national championship. And one of the things we're talking about the next day, aside from the idea that LSU might be one of, if not the best team in the history of college football, Joe Burrow being possibly the greatest single-season quarterback in NCAA college football history, all of that stuff. And then there's the OBJ video. What was he thinking? Stupidity on display.
I think if it's him or Jarvis Landry or Bird or some of these outstanding other LSU wide receivers that have come through the program, they're watching what they saw last night, and they're like, man, I wish he would have been my quarterback. I wish that would have happened. I know Bird won a national championship in 2007 with Matt Flynn, and Matt Flynn is the complete opposite of Joe Burrow, more of a game manager type. But you got to look across the LSU quarterbacks, whether it's been Danny Etling, whether it's been Menberger, Jordan Jefferson, and on. Like, they just haven't had what Joe Burrow had, not only last night, but throughout the course of the season. And all these LSU skill players that have come through the program the last 10 or so years are just sitting there like, man, I wish I could have played with Joe. Joe was incredible. We talked about how great his single season was and just everything that went with LSU. He got to feel happy for Ed Orgeron, who was actually, as Dudley brought up this morning, a former Arkansas assistant at one point. And there's a great Mike Irwin story for those who haven't know with him interacting with Mike, doing film and stuff. But Yeah, the Odell thing was just kind of weird because it was out in the open, it was on display, and I guess he just didn't care who saw. So I'm wondering if there's going to be any more investigation to that, because you could clearly tell that was not monopoly money. That was the worst attempt at lying or trying to fake something that I've ever seen. I don't know if the PR person said that, but man, that was a bad miscue on their part.
Carlin Levac, who's pretty active on our text line today, says he doesn't think the NCAA can do very much about it. Jefferson's going to the NFL. Season's over. Zero effect on the season. He's still a student athlete. The game's over. He's still a student athlete at that time. That's an institutional control thing, I think. So we'll see. Maybe it's just a little bit overblown, but it's also just funny.
Did you see
funny.
Did you see the story? And this was from AL.com's, what's his name? It's not Skarbowski, but it'll come to me. But their cop got ticked at LSU players for smoking cigars in the locker room.
I saw it. Well, I mean, we've all probably seen the video if you're on any sort of social media platform of Joe Burrow. It's the coolest look I've ever seen. You know, him in the locker room afterwards, legs crossed, enjoying a cigar. And just with that cool look on his face, like, yep, I just won the national championship. That was me. But then I saw the video of all the other players dancing around, and, I mean, they've got cigars.
Yeah.
And, I could imagine not everybody would have enjoyed that. But what are you going to do? I mean, it's a celebratory victory cigar.
And he's wearing, for those who watch the post-game press conference, and I mentioned the Phil during the break, and I'll just use the acronym because we can't use this actual word on there, but he's wearing a BDJ hat. Figure that acronym out for yourself, and he's wearing that in the post-game press conference. And it just, like, he just has such a persona, such an alluring aspect to just being around him. And apparently, like, he's not, there's people I've talked to that have met him that he's not, like, just over-the-top cocky. And I mean, you just won the Heisman Trophy. You just won a national championship. You're the most talked about, not only quarterback, but player in college football. You're going to be drafted number 1 overall. Probably the Bengals have that number 1 pick, right? To Cincinnati.
Have fun with that, Joe.
Yeah.
Have lots of fun with that.
That's not going to be tough. I'm sure that I know it's a Sean McVay disciple. It's Zach Taylor. That's his name as the coach. I think that's his name. I'm sure he's excited to get Joe in there and hopefully turn that franchise around. But man, that was just incredible performance last night. And let's not forget he played a guy in Trevor Lawrence, and I misquoted the stat yesterday. Trevor Lawrence was 25-0 heading into that game. I didn't account for the few games that Kelly Bryant started initially when he was a true freshman. A guy that was 25-0, had not lost since high school as a starting quarterback. And he probably doubled him in terms of playing. He outplayed him so much last night. 5 touchdowns, just incredible. And Chase dropped another touchdown. There was a drive that back shoulder throw that he had. Mm-hmm. Chase dropped that. So he should have had 6 touchdowns last night. Just an incredible performance. And again, what he's able to do, not only during the regular season and against some lesser opponents, but 7 top 25 wins, 7 top 10 wins. Also the fact, 16-0 in the postseason, 16 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's just remarkable. It's one of the best single seasons we've ever seen, not only from a quarterback, but a guy in college football itself.
Scott Texan says, with the first pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select all of LSU and the entire coaching staff. And that still won't win them the AFC North. So good luck, Cincinnati. All right, 877-377-6963 to get with us today on Halftime. Wanted to give you a snapshot of the Vanderbilt Commodores, tomorrow's Arkansas basketball opponent. It kind of feels like last year for Vandy, doesn't it, where they had so many injuries. The Darius Garland injury just pretty much kneecapped them before they could really get going and end up losing all of their SEC games. Fire head coach Bryce Drew, bring in Jerry Stackhouse Jr. for his first ever coaching job. And this season, Vanderbilt was going along pretty nicely. They picked up victories in 5 of their first 6 games, but did lose to Tulsa. That's the same team that Arkansas boat raced in December. They were defeated by Tulsa by 9 points at home. So that doesn't speak very well to Vanderbilt. And they have lost 3 consecutive games, dropped 5 of their last 7. Injuries are pretty much the main issue for it. Now, they lost top rebounder Cleavon Brown, who played only 9 games. He's dealing with a knee injury. And then before the last game for Vanderbilt, in which they hosted Texas A&M, it was announced that Aaron Nesmith is out for an indefinite period of time with a foot injury. Now, that's a real game changer because one thing Vanderbilt does very well, and it would have been really interesting to see how they would shoot their threes against the three-point defense of Arkansas, which is the best three-point defense in the country. Opponents making just over 22.5% of their three-point shots. So Vanderbilt still has the top three-point percentage in the SEC at .375, but it's really all Nesmith. I mean, he had over 52% of his three-pointers. He was first in the nation in three-point percentage, and it hit 63s in 14 games. So with him, they make 37% of their threes. Without him, they make 31% of their threes. That's a pretty big difference. They're not going to be able to hit their threes simply because their best three-point shooters on the bench hurt, and Arkansas defends the three better than anybody.
And it's just going to be difficult for, I think, Arkansas, as much as Eric Musselman, Crutchfield, Mosier, and all those guys are going to be preaching to the players that you can't overlook Vanderbilt, you can't overlook Vanderbilt, you can't overlook Vanderbilt, based on who they've lost, based on what the team looks like so far this year, based on...
Sounds like you're saying you can't overlook.
It's human nature, man. It's just going to happen. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than people think. Whatever the line is tomorrow night, I'm assuming that it's going to be 10+. I would bet that Vandy covers in this one. I'm probably going to pick that tomorrow. I think they
with Nesmith, I think it would be a really difficult ball game. They went to Auburn and lost by 4 points against an undefeated Auburn club. That was with Aaron Nesmith. Without him, they lost to a bad Texas A&M team at home by 19. Nesmith makes an enormous difference for Vanderbilt, and it's going to make a world of difference for Arkansas that he's not even on the court. I don't see Eric Musselman, by the way, allowing this team or any other team to look past the upcoming opponent they've got right in front of them. 877-377-6963. We will be right back.
Listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Ty Sports Radio. This is the Morning Rush.
That's what I always find it fascinating about not just media but fans. The guy sitting in section 212, upper deck corner, third row from the top. He is certain the guy that is 4 feet from the play on the floor has missed it when he's 3 rows from the top in the corner. You know, officiating is all about angles.
I mean, what better angle do you need than up there? You can see the whole thing, Tommy. You can see all of it from up there.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
The new Michelin silicone plates last through everything.
On a world record-breaking drive from Alaska to South America in unpredictable conditions.
Thunderstorms, ice storms, they just don't quit.
Rainier Zeidlo chose Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades with advanced Quad-Tech 4-layer coated silicone that repels water, snow, and ice and lasts 2 times longer than other blades.
It's coming down in sheets.
Real world proven. Extreme weather wiping performance. Upgrade to Michelin Endurance XT silicone wiper blades today. Only at Walmart.
The 2019s must go. Save up to $15,000 now at Harry Robinson's Sallisaw Ford. 2019 Ford Expeditions with the all-new body style. Now $15,000 off. 2019 Ford Escapes. Only $24,230. And 2019 Ford F-150 4x4s. Over $10,000 off. The 2019s must go. Up to $15,000 off at Harry Robinson's Sallisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Sallisaw.
This is Mark Hurst. How important is your smile? I recently read a study that said 61% of adults are attracted to someone by their smile alone. Another said that 48% of adults have untagged themselves from a photo on Facebook because of their smile. At Hurst Family Dental Care, we want you to be proud of your smile. Give us a call at 474-1972 and let us talk to you about improving your smile with cosmetic dentistry options ranging from in-office bleaching to braces to porcelain crowns and veneers. Hurst Family Dental Care, a name you know and a name you can trust.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code. Lesson 42. This is how you say happy hour. It's happy hour. Let's go get some Bud Lights. That's it for today.
Brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light. Crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Wave Rural Connect is bringing state-of-the-art fiber, internet, TV, and phone services right into your home. Get amazing fast fiber internet, 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for only $79.95 per month. TV packages from the basics to our amazing Altered TV, starting at $32.95. Fiber phone services start at $29.95. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out if we are installing in your area, or call 1-833-4-WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Joe to Jones. Got to hurry now. 3, 2, 1. Jones for the win. He got it! He got it! He got it! Mason Jones banks in a 3 with 0.1 seconds to play. Arkansas's got the lead 62-61. Prayer answered, and the Hogs are up by a point.
One of the big moments of the basketball season so far for Eric Musselman and especially for Mason Jones. The last second 3 to take down Georgia Tech. See what happens tomorrow against Vanderbilt. By the way, Scottie Pippen's son is the point guard for the Vanderbilt Commodores. His name's also Scotty. He is a junior, 6'1" freshman. I meant he is a Scottie Pippen Jr. He is a freshman, a true freshman, one of 3 true freshmen that Vanderbilt started against Texas A&M. Pippen's pretty good. Obviously, he's more highly recruited than his father was, as his dad played at then D2 UCA. Scotty Jr. averaging 10.7 points. And a little over 4 assists per game as a freshman, doing nice work there. So I'm sure he'll get the start against Arkansas. And I wonder if Scotty will be in attendance. I know he doesn't live in Arkansas anymore. Scotty Jr. is from Los Angeles. Not like Scottie Pippen has a connection to the University of Arkansas. He's a former UCA Bear, but it makes sense if the NBA Hall of Famer does make an appearance at the Bud tomorrow. It's not a sellout. I'm sure he can find a ticket.
Man, you hope that I'm sure that Scotty Jr. hopes he grows about 7 or 8 inches like his dad did in college. That'd be nice. That growth spurt would help because for those who don't remember, while at UCA, he was originally the student manager, and then all of a sudden he just grew like 7 or 8 inches, and then you want to play basketball? Sure. So that's
the fact
that must be nice.
He was on the same Bulls team as Dennis Rodman, who played college ball at Southeastern Oklahoma State when they were known as the Savages, not the Savage Storm, by the way. I don't know if Southeastern was D2 then, but to think that 2 of the best players on one of the best teams, if not the best team in NBA history, didn't even play Division I college basketball, isn't that amazing? Really is.
I'm still hyped up for that Last Dance documentary that's going to come out this summer, which talks about the last championship. There's exclusive interviews. I mean, you have people talking, like we've heard from Scotty, we've heard from Dennis, but you have like Pat Riley, Gary Payton, President Obama, who's a big Bulls fan. I mean, there's so many different, Kobe Bryant, there's so many different people that they get to sit down and talk about this team and talk about not only the impact of the NBA, but their life itself. So I'm really excited for that. You know I'm going to be all over that, Phil.
Let's get to some other stuff here. Arkansas getting a possible preferred walk-on from Cabot. He is a kicker/punter. Rhett Thurman will be a PWO at Arkansas. He's enrolled early, so he's already accepted it, and he's enrolling early. We'd mentioned earlier Joe Craddock is expected to join the football staff at Alabama Birmingham as the tight ends coach. Interesting. He's got connections to the city of Birmingham, so no surprise that he is back there. It's a good program as well. Bill Clark, a very well thought of head coach, but just as a position coach. It's interesting to see where the coordinators for Chad Morris have now headed because John Chavis is no longer coaching in the SEC. It's got to be the first time in like 15, 20 years that Chavis is coaching outside the SEC. He's going to be the DC at Tulane, and Joe Craddock, the tight ends coach at Alabama Birmingham. All right, there was some stuff that came out. I wondered where this yes sir thing for Sam Pittman came out, and that's his phrase, but that's his only phrase. I wouldn't call it a hashtag yet. I know we've been opening the show with it, so it seems that yes sir is it's not a phrase. It's really just one word pieced together is what Sam Pittman is known most for. But the guys at Hog Sports got Pittman to talk about where this came from. And it seems he's almost reluctant to just continue doing it, but I think Pittman expects now that this is what's expected of him, that he's known for yes, sir. So he's just going to drop it when it's necessary. Kind of like with Ed Ogeron and Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Yeah, you were waiting on it last night. You heard Tom Rinaldi say, all right, Ed, you can do it. And he was like, Go Tigers. So he had to do it. So the background of this story is, for those who don't remember, Justin Fields started his career at Georgia. And they were battling other people across the country to get him to campus and to get him to sign with the Georgia Bulldogs. He was the #1 recruit in the country at the time. So one of the recruiting guys for Georgia comes to Sam. It's like, hey, you got to do something. They want you to do something. Give him a yes, sir, or something. And so he does the yes, sir. And like Phil was saying, he wasn't a huge fan of it. Kind of sounded stupid. Again, this is from Trey Beatty and the guys at Hog Sports. And then all of a sudden it kind of became a tagline, and it stuck. And now fans, not only in Georgia, and I know there's still a lot of Georgia fans that miss Sam Pittman, and they miss that phrase particularly, but it really resonates with Arkansas fans. I think it's simple, it's not over the top, it's just yes sir. So and you put some excitement behind it, little gusto behind it, Phil, and it's there.
I wonder if there'll be a point where he just says, do I need to do this anymore? Is it really necessary for me to continue doing the yes sir thing? But he seems to be all right doing it, but it does make me feel good about the whole idea of the yes sir, that he's reluctant to do it, but it's just sort of pushed.
You don't like catchphrases or basically anything fun, so.
No, I mean, I do my own catchphrases for play-by-play stuff. I just don't want catchphrases to be the substitute for actual coaching. That's what I mean. I understand you got to go out and sell, and you got to sell the program and everything. To me, it feels like Sam Pittman is selling the program without too many catchphrases or hashtags. He's talking about building relationships, and I think that's exactly what he's trying to do. And I like plenty of things that are fun. I know.
Look, that in there.
Today I'm not into the whole birthday thing. It is my 43rd birthday today. I'm not really into it too much. I feel like birthdays stop becoming like a thing that you really celebrate around the age of 25. So, Ty, I think you just really celebrated your last birth. No, I'm kidding. We're up to about 30. Once you start having kids and you start celebrating their birthdays and you blow up their birthdays, then you start to realize how insignificant your own birthday really is.
I was talking to Jeff Taylor. He came back from a cruise, and I was like, so, buddy, what was it like? And he was like, it was just more about your kids. And he's like, you'll learn once you're a father. Knock on wood, that eventually happens for me. But that there's just so much more significance, and you get so much more out of making your kids happy and appreciating their significant parts of their life than when you're own. Because once you get older, like you said, it's not as big of a deal. And I've heard, I don't remember if my dad said this, but I know someone old and wise told me that, like, once you turn 25, birthdays just aren't that big of a deal anymore. I guess, like, 50 and maybe, like, 75, if you reach the milestone of 100, that's maybe a big deal. But, like you said, they kind of lose significance after 25 because there's really nothing. I mean, what are you really celebrating? Like, this is not to diminish your birthday because I wish you a happy birthday and everything this morning, but it's just like I'm kind of with you. It's not as big of a deal once you get older and you get slower, more tired, groggier.
I'll just put it out here. I mean, 43 sucks. It does. There's nothing to celebrate at 43. At least when I turn 55, I can celebrate an AARP membership. At least at the age of, I don't even know what the age is any longer.
65?
65 when you can start drawing Social Security. 67 if you wait a little longer and get a little extra into your monthly check. Then I'd celebrate that, right? But at 43, what is it? I mean, there's nothing to celebrate, man. I mean, we'll go out to dinner tonight. Lovely lady's got a place picked out that I've never been to. I don't even know where it is. I think she's more excited that I'm actually going to put on like a crisp shirt with a collar and a nice pair of pants that are not jeans and a pair of shoes that aren't sneakers or tennis shoes. I think she's more excited about that than me turning 43.
We were giving our buddy Dan a hard time. I was up in Fayetteville 2 weekends ago, and he's a diehard Philadelphia sports fan. He's from there. Westchester, I think, is from the neighborhood that he's from. You might know what I'm talking about. And his parents, I got dressed up for taking him out into a nice place, and he's just wearing a Birds T-shirt. I'm like, dude, you couldn't put on something like nice, like your parents are taking you out to eat for a nice dinner. He's like, this is nice for me. And I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I remember my dad and my stepmom were livid at me for walking graduation at the U of A for wearing a polo and khaki shorts. And everyone else has gotten like button-downs, ties, and the whole 9 yards.
But
and
that felt dressy for you.
Yeah, that felt. I'm wearing a red polo.
What? I combed my hair. What do you want?
Yeah, I'm wearing a red polo, khaki shorts, and tennis shoes. And I stuck out like a sore thumb, and I was getting messed with. But I mean, that's how I am. I'm kind of like you. I don't like dress. I dressed up for New Year's, and I think that was the second time I wore a suit all of 2019, and the level of nicety was just so much farther away than how I usually dress. It's just not my thing. I think I was doing the math in my head the other day. I think I've maybe bought 10 articles of clothing since high school. And everyone always gives me a hard time because I dress the exact same as I did in high school. I was like, stuff still fits. Like, I don't care. I'm just gonna wear what I wore in high school.
Now I'm about in the same boat as you are, and I've been made fun of like this before because, you know, you work for sports teams, you get T-shirts, you get collared shirts, you're expected to wear them at games. So I've been asked, do you ever wear anything that doesn't have like a team name or a logo on it? As I show you this Sky Sox shirt that I'm wearing for those who are on our YouTube and Facebook stream, you know what the answer is? Go jump in the pond. I'll wear what I want to wear, all right? It's my 43rd birthday, and I can just say it. Red wants me to celebrate that I made it to 43 years. Okay, that's fine. We'll see if I make it to 44. Clifty lets me know that it's a great day because it's another day above ground, better than the alternative. You see what we're left to celebrate here? We're left to celebrate that we're not dead. That's what 43rd birthday really means. Year number 44 is starting with some serious morbidity, isn't it? I love to bring out the morbid talk. Could I be even more morbid just for a moment on this birthday?
Yeah, about 40 seconds.
It's a 43rd birthday, but it really is just another day closer to death. I'm laughing. I'm not really being as morbid as it sounds. It's okay. Let's see. We've got Sam Conn Jr. coming after the break. We're going to talk about De'Aaron King with Sam Conn Jr., a potential target for Arkansas to be in the quarterback room. And I'm going to put him on the spot about if Sunday and Monday combined were the worst days in the history of Houston professional sports. He's a college sports reporter, but I'm going to put him on the pro sports beat as well as we come back to talk with Sam Conn Jr. right after the break, so don't go anywhere.
Shooters shoot. You're listening to Halftime.
What it's doing to me ain't a secret.
Protection with possibilities. Have past losses made you cautious about taking on risk with your investments? Are you concerned that your savings are not generating the returns you need? If you are interested in protecting your money and capturing potential investment growth, contact Brad Lewis at United Financial Advisors at 242-7466 or ufadvisors.net to see whether market-linked CDs may be the right solution for you.
Securities and advisory service offered through Royal Alliance Associates, member FINRA, SIPC. United Financial Advisors is a marketing destination.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
What happened to paying one price and getting everything included? You buy an airline ticket and pay extra to bring a change of clothes, book a hotel room, and you're shelling out for Wi-Fi and overpriced bottled water. Shipping and handling. Really? Imagine my delight when I found out roadside assistance is now included with my shelter insurance auto policy. So if I get a flat tire or need a jump, I just call and they take care of me. No additional cost. Some restrictions apply, so learn more at shelterinsurance.com.
Ask shelter agents Randy Milam or Brad Howe about a free insurance review.
Tired of all the broken promises and broken equipment at your current gym? The Fort Smith Athletic Club is the nicest and most well-equipped fitness and tennis club in the area, with a state-of-the-art fitness center, Pilates, fitness classes, personal and group training, and the best tennis facilities in the region. 7 outdoor courts, 5 indoor courts, plus pickleball and racquetball courts, and free child care is included. The Fort Smith Athletic Club. Call 452-4031 for membership information.
Only the best vehicles make it to the inventory at Hertz Car Sales. When you buy from Hertz, you know you're getting a high-quality car, SUV, or truck. The sales staff takes the time to get to know you and what you're looking for and will work hard to match you up with the perfect vehicle. You'll find that your experience at Hertz is easy and affordable as you drive away in your late-model, low-mileage vehicle. So what are you waiting for? Come on over to Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith. Give them a call today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales, when you're ready.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
He's going to heave it to the other end. Joe intercepts it. Arkansas wins. Arkansas wins as Mason Jones hits the 3. The Razorbacks are 6-0. What a finish in overtime in Atlanta.
Let's go to our phones. We appreciate Sam Kahn Jr. joining us, college sports reporter in Houston, ESPN. And, of course, we're getting into the possible transferring of De'Aaron King. Arkansas might be looking at him. Sam, thanks for coming on the day after college football and its national championship game. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're doing well. We're doing well. You know, obviously we're on the opposite end of the LSU Tigers covering Arkansas these days. But it was, I have to say, like this whole situation with King and a couple of the other Houston players, there's no, of course, this was not the way that Dana Holgorsen drew this up. Take us to the start of this whole, I don't know if fiasco is the right word, when the decision was made to redshirt King and bring him back the next year. It obviously hasn't worked out that way.
Yeah, I think it's all started with their fourth game of the year when they lost to Tulane. If you guys remember, they were on Thursday Night Football on ESPN, and Willie Fritz's Green made 2 plays to cover about 70-some-odd yards. And if you remember that fake kneel that they did where they kind of did the Fumblerooski-looking play that got them like 20 yards, and then they threw like a 60-yard touchdown after that to win the game. That is kind of where this started, because if they win that Tulane game, if Houston goes and beats Tulane and starts 1-0 in conference play, De'Aaron King plays out the rest of the year. He does not redshirt, and nor do some of the other guys. I think they end up, going ahead and trying to win a conference championship in the American. Would they have done it? I don't know, but certainly things would have been different if they win that game. Now, once that happens, De'Aaron King's motivation here is trying to put himself in the best possible situation to give himself a chance to play pro, to play an NFL career. And I think he believes that to be possible based on some of the guys that are of his similar stature that have had success, the Kyler Murrays of the world, who obviously got drafted and is playing in Arizona. Jalen Hurts, has had a tremendous amount of success at Alabama and in Oklahoma. And so I think he believes that his window of opportunity is very small and very narrow because of his stature and his size, and that doing it on a Houston team that maybe was going to end up 6-6 or so with him on it, or 7-5, is not as good a shot as maybe going to a Power 5 program and having a better senior season elsewhere.
But he must have thought at some point, because it took so long for him to actually go into the transfer portal. I mean, this was much different than Kelly Bryant the year before, who goes on this free agent tour. So, I mean, he must have had thoughts that, yes, I'm going to return to Houston, because he kept telling media members that. He's not entering the transfer portal, but here it is, January 14th, and he's in the transfer portal. So, I mean, what was it do you think that he's looking at? Is it simply that playing in the American Conference isn't at the higher level, at the same level as the SEC? Is it really that simple?
I don't think so. I think there's a lot going on. I think some of it we know and some of it we don't. I think a lot of it, again, is the motivation to try and put himself in the best position for his future. But, I think he potentially maybe looked at Houston as maybe not necessarily a sure bet in 2020, because of how haywire things went this year. I mean, they went 4-8. It wasn't a good season. It was certainly a different coaching staff. And you've got to understand, King this is his third head coach. He was recruited by Tom Herman. He played for Major Applewhite, and he's now played for Dana Holgorsen. He's gone through multiple offense coordinators, multiple head coaches, and he's played multiple positions. I mean, he started his career as a Wildcat quarterback, receiver, and kick returner, and before eventually becoming a quarterback. So he's been through a lot in his time, and there's a lot to factor in there. But I do think that he was generally torn at this because he graduated December 14th, so he's had a month to decide on this and to process this. And honestly, he's had time to think about it since the season ended, which was in late November for Houston. So he's had plenty of time to think about it, and to say that he was considering coming back, he certainly acted that way because he was in team meetings as recently as Sunday. He was in Dana Holgorsen's first team meeting on Sunday, and he was working out with teammates. He was throwing with receivers last week. He gave Houston every indication that he was returning in terms of his actions, in terms of the way he was going about his business. I think there's probably a lot of different factors at play, and who's to say what? I don't know what all of them are, but certainly his future and his potential pro future is probably tops near the list. And I guess he just felt at the end of the day that it's going to be better served trying to do that elsewhere rather than Houston.
Talking with Sam Kahn Jr., ESPN.com here on Halftime. Sam, in your recent article, you mentioned that Arkansas is a potential landing spot for D'Eriq King. What's the relationship like between him and Kendall Briles?
I don't know how much they've kept in touch of late. Obviously, I don't know how much you can, especially with, King, at Houston and Kendall at, he was at Florida State and at Arkansas. I mean, certainly if I imagine there's a limitation in terms of how much contact you can really have because of, transfer rules and tampering and things like that. But certainly, I mean, they had a good relationship when he was there, when Kendall was at Houston, and they had a very good on-field marriage. I mean, they were extremely productive. Kendall's offense was a perfect fit for D'Eriq, a great fit for those receivers that they had, and D'Eriq had a career year. I mean, he threw for 36 touchdowns, ran for 14 more, was extremely productive. It's his best season to date, and it was really the first time that he got to be a quarterback and just a quarterback and not have to worry about doing other things, which he did early in his career. And I know that, King thrived in that offense, liked that offense, enjoyed doing it, and certainly the change this year was a little bit of a transition for him from Kendall's offense to kind of Dana Holgorsen's air raid-based style. I think it was a little bit on the field, and so I think that the potential of going back into something he's familiar with and being able to do it with a coach that he's familiar with and in a conference that produces the kind of players that he wants to play with, I think is what makes that a potential option for him.
Sam, there was an interesting exchange on the ESPN MegaCast last night with Gary Patterson and Mike Gundy where they talked about the transfer portal, and Patterson tells Gundy, I'll tell you where he's going during the break. Did you make anything out of that? Is he just talking smoke, or was he talking about another player, you think?
Yeah, I think that's Gary. I think coaches do that all the time. I talk to coaches all the time. Everybody likes to speculate, and everybody's got their sources. I mean, I'm sure Gary's got a ton of sources in the coaching industry who probably feel like they have a beat on where D'Eriq's going. I don't think that D'Eriq has a final decision yet, but I bet he's probably got a couple or three places that he has in mind that he could end up. So I think GP's probably got a good read on where he thinks he may end up, and who's to say Gary Patterson may be involved in that because TCU is the school that De'Aaron committed to out of high school before he flipped to Houston. When he was a recruit, he initially was recruited by TCU and committed to TCU and flipped to Houston late and went to play for Tom Herman because Houston said they would give him a chance to play quarterback when TCU actually wanted to play him as a receiver. The same staff, offensive coordinators there, same head coaches there. Now that they've seen him play quarterback, I'm sure that if TCU was interested, that Gary Patterson would be more than happy to let him play quarterback after having seen what De'Aaron has accomplished at that position. And so it could be a different deal because there's a pre-existing relationship there between them. So who knows? Maybe Gary Patterson and TCU get in the mix too.
What'd you make of Holgerson's reaction? I think I saw on Twitter today like a really simple tweet, just an LFG, which we all know what that means. And I wasn't quite sure what to make of it because it came out the same time that King's announcement of the transfer portal came out.
Right. Yeah, I would say that I think it's Dana probably taking an us against the world type of deal. Like, you know, he had a plan, and they had a plan to bring this team back in 2020 and try to really make a run for it. I think, you know, potentially being a New Year's Six team. You know, when you consider Marquez Stevenson coming back, if De'Aaron King would have come back, he had several other redshirt seniors that decided to take a similar path to King. They've got about 6 transfers on defense that came this offseason that sat out this year per transfer rules that are going to be eligible to play. And most of those guys are probably going to start, including one from Alabama who's no doubt the best defensive player on the roster at the moment. And so I think he's excited about the team. I think he's certainly frustrated with how it went down because I think he was under the impression that De'Aaron was going to be back. And, again, they were led to believe that based on everything De'Aaron did up until last night. And but at the same time, I do think he is excited about Clayton, too, the quarterback he has who started the 7 games this year for them after King decided to take his red shirt. He thinks highly, too. He's got a ton of potential, and I think he thinks he can win with that guy. And I think he still thinks that even without De'Aaron King, that they're going to be a team and that perhaps in some way they can move on, that there's no uncertainty anymore in this program, and they can move forward with the team they have and try to go make a run at the American Conference.
Got about a minute or two left here, Sam. I was listening to, and I don't know if you go on this station, but an ESPN affiliate in Houston yesterday, and I mean we'll switch off of De'Aaron King just for a moment here. They were talking about the idea that the combination of Sunday's Texans loss with the Major League Baseball punishments to the Astros yesterday, you may have had the single worst 2-day stretch in the history of Houston sports. And I don't know where King's transfer fits into everything here, but you cover sports in Houston. What's the temperature right now amongst Houston sports fans of what's gone on these last 2 days?
Well, I will tell you they're used to it just because they've been through a lot. You know, they've been through 35-3 with the Oilers and the Bills in the early 90s. They've been through Pi Slamma Jamma losing the Final Four in the last second in 1983 to Jim Valvano at NC State. You know, they've been through quite a bit over the years. They've seen the Oilers leave. It's definitely been tough. I think there was a lot of frustration amongst the city and fans with how the Texans game went and how they lost. And to find out Monday that the coach you lose is not the one that blew the 24-point lead in the first half to Kansas City, but the one that won you a World Series 2 years ago, which was one of the greatest moments in the city sports history. It certainly was a little bit of exasperation. The De'Aaron King thing, I think, is some people say bad things happen in threes. Well, there you go. There's your 3. And so King certainly changes the outlook for Houston with him not being there. But it certainly has been a tough 36, 48 hours for the city of Houston sports fans.
Sam, before we let you go, I know Sportsline came out with odds on where De'Aaron King lands. LSU 1, Arkansas 2, Miami 3. If it's on the list, if it's not, where do you think he ultimately plays quarterback in 2020?
I think it's Arkansas or LSU. I would think it'd be one of those 2 schools. If I had to pick one right now, I would guess Arkansas. That would be my guess.
That's interesting. Why would you put Arkansas ahead of LSU?
Just because of his familiarity with that offense with Kendall Browns. I do think LSU is potentially a situation just because, like you said, they just won the national championship. Arkansas is coming off a rough season, and they have a new coaching staff, and everything's new. But, I mean, there's something to be said for what you know. and he does know Kendall Brown. He does know that office, and he knows that he can succeed in it, and it is in the right conference. So if I had to put money on it, I'd put money on Arkansas.
Great to visit with you, Sam. Appreciate your time. Have a great day.
No problem. Thanks so much for having me.
You got it. That's Sam Kahn Jr. Follow him on Twitter, SKHANJR. He's a college sports reporter at ESPN and makes his home in Houston, Texas.
I don't know about that, but I did not expect that answer to come out of his mouth. Maybe it's just because I've had like football, so much withdrawal and so much like PTSD with this football program the last couple years. And this guy is about as plugged into Houston as it gets. I mean, went there, graduated J school there, has covered the team for the Houston Chronicle. I think he still lives there and still working for ESPN. So he's got a slew of connections down there. Not to say that he's 100% right on this, but man, that'd be something if they actually ended up getting him. And I guess the Bryles connection is obviously a major factor in all this, Phil.
Be a nice, big upgrade, you would think. But then again, I mean, we thought that you upgraded a quarterback for the 2019 season. It turned out you downgraded. So I don't see it getting any worse than it was last year, especially if you get a guy who set some records at Houston. Well, I don't know if he set records because they did have some pretty crazy numbers back in the day with Andre Ware. But King has been one of the better quarterbacks in Houston history. Anyway, we'll come back with a cherry on the top of halftime. Get with us at 877-377-6963, and we will be right back.
When in doubt, expense it. You're listening to Halftime.
The new year is here, and Art's Barbecue and Burgers is ready with healthy choices on their menu. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has smoked chicken that will melt in your mouth, a variety of salads to choose from, plus a grilled chicken breast that's always a smart option. And use the Waiter app to have the full menu at Art's Barbecue and Burgers brought to your home or business. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, giving you healthy choices to start the new year off right. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, next to Aaron's on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Look your best with Perfecto Cleaners at the bottom of Fiena Hills. Count on same-day service, easy drive-through covered drop-off and pickup window, and fast turnaround on alterations. Perfecto Cleaners always goes the extra mile to ensure your clothes look their best, making you look your best. Be sure to clip their coupons in the yellow pages, and as always, in by 9 and out by 5 Monday through Friday. Perfecto Cleaners, just off Jenny Lind at the bottom of Fiena Hills. Perfecto Cleaners, making you look your best.
Tri-Hill Turf offers the highest quality turf and pest services. Hey, you say those are big words. Well, let's see. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has a company agronomist, state and nationally certified technicians, free soil testing, and they even have precision GPS guided application equipment. Now that's high tech. For over 30 years, Tri-Hill Turf and Pest has used the latest application technology, and they strive for turf and pest excellence. They are your local turf and pest experts. Call the local team at 782-0404. Tri-Hill Turf and Pest.
At Booking.com, our search filters make it easy to book the perfect place to stay to check off any New Year's resolution. Want to be more active this year? Book a resort with a fitness center at Booking.com. Check. Want to shorten your commute? Book a ski lodge right by the lifts at Booking.com. Check. Or do you want to worry less in 2020? Then book a vacation home with a relaxing hot tub. Check. At Booking.com, there's a booking for every resolution. Download the app and book now.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Are your real estate investments being properly managed? Are you sending a check or cashing a check each month? If you're tired of your current property managers, then call Trinity Multifamily. Trinity will qualify your tenants and leases, inspect your properties, and take care of maintenance and provide you with web-based access to current financial reports, leases, and pictures of your property. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Joe, for the record, gets it from the corner. Isaiah with the three. That's his 103rd of the year, and he sets an Arkansas record for made three-point baskets in a season.
Enjoying a Tuesday, January the 14th, birthday number 43. As we roll along with a cherry on the top, and I guess I can celebrate my 43rd birthday, Ty, by planning out when I'm going to digest some Reaper Squeezins. The hottest, I don't know if that's the hottest sauce that is out there, but what was that, bread in Spyro?
Correct.
Said that was the one we should go with. So there wasn't anything I could have done about being down by 13 points in our betting standings that started with the college football season. And I'll admit, I let it get out of hand over the last month and a half because I didn't schedule all the bowl games we were supposed to pick. I didn't schedule enough prop bets from the college football championship games. So I kind of admitted defeat like before Thanksgiving. So I don't know if I have that. Well, I don't know if I have that heart that Arkansas basketball has been showing. I gave up. Maybe it's just because I want to test my stomach. So you want me to give you a day. I can't give you a day just yet. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out before, let's say, before the end of February. Because once baseball season starts, it's going to be crazy. So Reaper Squeezins, I'm going to need some sort of food to eat them with. Because I'm not just eating sauce.
Yeah, I told you. We'll talk to Wade York over at Arts, and we'll get him to smoke the sauce inside the wings.
Oh,
so that way it goes all the way through.
It goes all through it, and you can't. I mean, there's no way to get around it.
Yeah.
Like I'm heading to Nashville this weekend, and maybe I should just go get myself the hottest Nashville hot chicken I can find to prepare myself. I need to. I need to start with some hot stuff, and I need to get hotter each week leading up to the actual Reaper Squeezins digestion, so that I'm just ready for it, like swinging a weighted bat on deck.
Okay, I'll make you a deal. Is the lovely lady coming with you on this trip, or is it just you going with the team?
To Nashville?
Yeah.
She's coming. Apparently, I don't make any trips to Nashville without the lovely lady joining me.
Okay, I'll make.
And remember, it was her idea to go to Hattie B's last year, so she's up for it.
Yeah, I'll make you a deal. So, what sauce did you get last year at Hattie B's? You got the mild, right, or the medium?
No, I got the hot. I didn't
okay.
even get the hottest hot, but I got the hot. And
okay.
Let me tell you what, it was painful.
If you eat 4 tenders of Shut the Clock Up in Nashville, and I want her to videotape it because I don't want any of this I did it blah 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 crap. I want her to videotape
4 tenders.
Yeah,
I can't
4.
eat like because those are big ones.
Yeah, I know.
Can't I just have 3? I don't have enough room in my stomach for 4 of them.
Well, 3 if you're going to be a pansy about it. So I want her to videotape you eating the 3, and you're going to be in some pain. So this will make do for the Reaper Squeezins because I think the Reaper Squeezins might be a little worse, but I've had a little bit of Shut the Clock Up. It's pretty hot. My buddy Jay got it last time we were down there. I'll actually talking with Tommy yesterday. I think we're going to go down there for the SEC basketball tournament. But, yeah, you get some of those Shut the Clock Up. And, again, she got to get it on the videotape. I don't want any of this, I did it, this honors code crap. I want to see it just like I saw the polar plunge.
Oh, you don't want me to go the Major League Baseball route with the honor code.
No.
You know, with the don't signal the signs that you're getting from your replay system.
Exactly.
Please don't. Pretty please don't. You know that's not allowed, so just don't do it. We won't put anybody in that clubhouse, but just don't do it.
And since it's going to be a little less hotter than the sauce you were going to try, you can't drink anything for 5 minutes after you're finished with the last tender. Can't have anything.
Well, you realize that a lot of the drinks that you use, they actually just amplify the heat.
Yeah.
It just distributes the heat throughout your mouth and your stomach. So maybe that'd be a great. You're just trying to get me to hurt. You just want to hurt me.
I'm taking it easy on you. You're telling me you'd rather do the Reaper squeezins than that?
I don't know. Shut the cluck up. From what I digested from the hot stuff, that shut the cluck up stuff is going to be painful, man.
Because there's either one or two. I'm going to get on Hattie B's website and check this out. But there's either one or two in between the hot and the shut the cluck up. So I can't wait to see this video, and I think our listeners are going to be the exact same way. They actually put Hattie B's in Memphis too. I think it's spreading around a little bit, not only in Tennessee, but I think they're trying to franchise a little bit.
Well, it should. It's really good stuff. And let's see. I've opened up their website here because I need to double check on this. The heat levels. All right. So you got your Southern, which is no heat. Mild is a touch. Medium's warming up. Hot is what I got last time. Then there's damn hot, and then there's shut the cluck up. It says it's a burn notice. Is this the kind of sauce that I'm going to have to sign a waiver form?
I hope so. They have Reddit pages on the Shut the Cluck Up. They have TripAdvisor reviews. Yeah, this is going to be no easy task for you.
I feel like I need nuclear codes to eat chicken tenders.
This is going to be really terrible. It says Shut the Cluck Up is ridiculous. Let's see what else this. Oh, I got to sign up or something. Yeah, it's gonna be entertaining. I'm excited. It only lasts like you only have 10 minutes of herd, and then obviously the
10 minutes. Try 10 hours. Because you have to digest this stuff, and the digestive system moves the food through your body. And then there's an excretory system, which expels it from your body. This is just a 10-minute thing. This is a 10-hour thing.
So Waxy from Surrey, Canada. Do you know where that is, Phil? I don't know what Surrey is. He said
Surrey. That's British Columbia.
Okay. He says, eat this at your own peril and know that your life could be ruined for 30 minutes after eating it.
You want to ruin my life, ruin my relationship, ruin Sunday's broadcast at Vanderbilt, ruin next week's show, all just for the enjoyment of watching me sweat to where I literally have any sweat left in my system.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well done, Ty. Well done.
Well,
good luck finding yourself a new co-host because I think I might die this week.
It's a bummer because obviously we've competed in the 2 college football seasons, the cornhole stuff. But the thing that I was excited about is you pitching me and you striking me out, and I'm not going to be like Arns with the opinion that I can't
do that now.
You can't do that because you're bum shoulder.
It won't work. I don't know what I can beat you at, Ty, except just being older than you. That's it. That's all I got.
You can watch a scary movie, and I can't.
Well,
without,
I do have that.
Trembling.
It's a good point. If you can't watch a simple horror movie, then you cannot take any real joy in my inability to digest 4 chicken tenders of Shut the Cluck Up sauce. But I'm gonna give it a shot. We'll see if I can give it a shot this weekend. I may have to wait in a line like 30 minutes long, maybe an hour long, but it just might be worth it.
I was gonna say, you gonna tell Nabes about this? You gonna tell him next time you see him? He's like, Ty's making me do this challenge because I lost his bet.
He'll say, hell no, I'm not coming with you for that. He's got things to worry about. It's Nashville, for crying out there. Something for everybody. That includes tomorrow's show. Something for everybody, including Bill King and Harry and our friend Clay Henry. And we'll preview Arkansas and Vanderbilt. And it should be a good hump day. For Ty, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only